I'm Mike with Imprintables Warehouse, and today we're going to talk about the 3M Scotchlite Reflective Heat Applied Material. The 3M material is applicable to 100% cotton, polyesters, polycotton blends, as well as those hard to stick to fabrics such as nylon, spandex, and lycra. This material is perfect for anything that requires a high visibility such as fire departments, EMT, or construction wear. And the nice thing about the 3M material is it meets all ANSI and ISEA 107 standards for high visibility wear. And it also certified to CSA Z96 and EN 471 standards as well. And so what we're going to look at today, we're going to look at the cutting, the weeding, and the heat application of the 3M Scotchlite. So now we'll load the 3M into our cutter. And the 3M material can be cut on any cutter in the market today. And today we're using the Roland GX24. And go ahead and position our material so that the edges fall under the areas for the pinch rollers so that we don't waste any material. Okay. And when cutting the 3M reflective, you'll notice that we're cutting on the greenish side and not the reflective side. And as with any vinyl cut, you always want to perform your test cuts to ensure that you're cutting at the proper blade depth. Currently we're set at 200 grams of downforce, but you'll want to do your test cuts on your own cutter just to ensure that it is correct. Go ahead and load our design and send to the cutter. We're using a 60-degree blade for this material. Now that we have our design cut, now let's take a look at the weeding. And the 3M product is a fairly easy product to weed. It is mounted on a pressure-sensitive carrier, and the cut lines are very visible as well. So we'll go ahead and start at a corner and go ahead and begin to weed. You do want to be a little more careful around, smaller detailed designs so that you don't pick anything up. But you always have the pressure sensitive carrier to fall back on should you make a little mistake. And flip it over to make sure we didn't miss anything. Okay. And onto the second design for the front. I split these into two just to make it a little bit more manageable on myself. Nice little tip when weeding, always good to weed into your cavities, into the E and things like that, so that you're not tearing anything and not going to have to go back in and weed it later. And on the smaller text again, you want to be a little bit more careful. Okay, flip it over, make sure you didn't miss anything, and now we're ready to heat apply. Now that our design has been cut and weeded, now it's time for the heat application. And the garment we're using today, it's a polycotton blend work shirt. You'll notice that there's some buttons and seams and things like that. They're going to interfere with the adhesion, not getting an even press on the application area. So what we're going to do in this case, we're going to use a Print Perfect pad. And a Print Perfect pad is used to raise the application area so that those buttons and seams fall below so that you get a nice, flat, even pressure for a successful heat application. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and position this inside of the shirt to raise the pressing area. And you can see those buttons are now below, and the seams and the collar of the sleeve are all falling below that, so we'll get a nice, flat, even pressure. And so once you have your pad in there, as always, do a quick pre-press to get any wrinkles and moisture. And when using a Print Perfect pad, you always want to readjust your pressure because you just raised that, so now we're going to have to adjust that pressure. Okay, so now that we have the pre-press and our pressure adjusted, the 3M Scotchlite Reflective applies at a temperature of 305 for 10 to 20 seconds with heavy pressure. So we'll go ahead and position that on our garment. Lock it down. And the 3M Reflective is a cold peel product, so we'll remove it from our heat press so that it can cool down a little bit faster. Now that our design is completely cooled, we can now remove the Mylar carrier. Let's do that by peeling. And then we have our first application. So now we're going to apply our second design to the back of this shirt. Go ahead and put this on our platen. Nice thing about this is there's not going to be any need for a Print Perfect pad because we could just open up the shirt so that the buttons and things like that aren't going to interfere. Okay, do a quick pre-press yet again. And since we're not using the Print Perfect pad, we're going to have to readjust our pressure to increase it. Time and temperature remain the same. Okay. Then we'll position our graphic for the back. And apply. And again, this is a cold peel material, so we'll remove it from the heat press to allow it to cool before peeling. Now that our back design has cooled, we'll go ahead and remove the Mylar carrier to complete our decorated garment. And there we have our finished garment with the 3M Scotchlite Reflective. We have our design on the front. We also have our design on the back. The 3M Scotchlite Reflective is going to give your customers excellent durability and longevity, and also going to meet all the certifications needed to decorate any firewear, EMT, or any kind of safety garment, or any everyday wear that may increase the visibility of the wearer. Again, the 3M Scotchlite Reflective, available through Imprintables Warehouse. If you'd like to give it a try or place an order, give us a call at 800-347-0068 or visit us on the web at imprintables.com.